Hi everyone, hi Dr. Na. Today I will present an article entitled Assessing Language Proficiency in the Digital Age, Exploring Innovative Methods for Assessment and Feedback in ESL Classrooms, written by Melissa Özlemgrab from Giresun University, Turkey. The article was published in the journal Digital Education Technology in April 2025, so this is still very recent. So I chose the theme of assessment and feedback in digital era. So this article investigates how digital assessment tools can be used to assess English language proficiency and provide effective feedback in ESL classrooms. More specifically, it examines whether these digital tools improve students' language proficiency and explores the perspectives of both students and teachers toward their implementations. The topic is particularly relevant because English language teaching is currently experiencing rapid digital transformation. Technologies such as artificial intelligence, adaptive learning platforms, and automated feedback systems are changing not only how students learn language but also how teachers assess learning. Therefore, understanding the effectiveness and challenges of digital assessment has become increasingly important in contemporary ELT. In this presentation, I will discuss 7 key aspects of the article. First, I will explain the research question addressed by the study, and then second, I will examine the literature landscape that forms the theoretical foundations of the research. Third, I will discuss the emerging trends in digital assessment identified by the author. Fourth, I will critically evaluate the strengths and limitations of the study. And next, I will identify the research gaps that remain despite the study's contributions. Then I will discuss the implications for teachers, educational institutions, and future researchers. And finally, I will try to explain how this study is relevant to my own study. This study adopts a mixed method design, combining both quantitative and qualitative approaches. According to the methodology section, the researcher used standardized language proficiency tests, questionnaires, interviews, focus group discussions, and classroom observation to evaluate the effectiveness of digital assessment tools. So students use digital platforms such as Duolingo, Grammarly during the intervention. These tools provided immediate automated feedback on students' language performance. The quantitative findings showed a statistically significant improvement in students' language proficiency after the intervention. And the qualitative findings also reveal that both teachers and students appreciated the immediate feedback, increased learner engagement, and opportunities for personalized learning. Okay, and this study addresses two research questions. The first asks how effective are digital tools for assessing language proficiency in ESL classrooms. This question focuses on learning outcomes. The researchers wanted to determine whether students actually improve their language proficiency after using the digital assessment tools. To answer this question, they compared students' language proficiency scores before and after the interventions using standardized assessment and statistical analysis. So the students actually took the TOEFL and IELTS test. The second question asks what are the perspectives of ESL students and teachers on the use of digital methods for assessment and feedback. To answer this question, the researchers conducted interviews, focus groups, and classroom observations. Students generally reported that immediate feedback helped them recognize and correct their mistakes more quickly. Many also said that gamified activities made learning more enjoyable. While the teachers appreciated the digital tools because it allowed them to monitor student progress through learning analytics and provide more individualized report. I think these research questions are well formulated because they investigate both effectiveness and perceptions from both the teachers and students, thus provide a more comprehensive understanding of digital assessment. The literature review is organized into four major themes. The first theme is traditional language assessment. The author argues that conventional assessments such as paper-based examinations and oral tests often fail to capture authentic communicative competence. They also provide delayed feedback and may disadvantage learners from diverse linguistic backgrounds. To support this argument, the author cites scholars such as Alderson, Green, Weigel, and Barton. The second theme is formative assessment. So drawing on Heavy and Timperley 2007, the author emphasizes that immediate feedback helps learners recognize weaknesses and improve more effectively than delayed feedback. The third concerns digital assessment. The author reviews AI-powered assessment tools, automated scoring systems, gamification, adaptive learning technologies, multimedia assessment, and peer feedback platforms. The examples include Duolingo, Grammarly, Google Classroom, and Padlet. Finally, the theoretical framework combines constructivism proposed by Piaget and sociocultural theory proposed by Vygotsky. Constructivism views learning as an active process in which learners construct knowledge through experience. Sociocultural theory emphasizes that learning develops through interaction, collaborations, and scaffolding. So these theories are highly appropriate for this study because digital assessment promotes interaction, feedback, collaborations, and learner autonomy. However, I think one limitation of the literature review is that many references are classical works. Although these foundational theories remain relevant, the review could have included more recent studies published after 2022 or in the last, at least in the last 5 years, regarding AI-assisted language assessment. Okay, so for the emerging trends, the article identifies several important trends currently shaping assessment in English language teaching. The first trend is AI-powered assessment. The author discusses AI-based platforms such as Duolingo, English Test, and Grammarly, which automatically evaluate learner performance and provide immediate personalized feedback. The second trend is immediate formative feedback. Instead of waiting several days for a teacher's corrections, learners receive feedback instantly, allowing them to correct errors while learning. The third trend is personalized learning. Adaptive digital systems modify tasks difficulty according to individual learner performance, creating personalized learning pathways. And then the fourth trend is gamification. Digital assessment increasingly incorporates points, badges, rewards, leaderboards, and progress tracking to increase learners' motivation. And the fifth trend is inclusive assessment. Digital technologies accommodate learners from diverse linguistic and cultural backgrounds by providing flexible assessment opportunities. Finally, the article discusses multimedia assessment, where language proficiency is assessed through videos, audio recordings, and interactive activities rather than relying only on written examinations. This trend clearly demonstrates how assessment is shifting from traditional testing toward more learner-centered, technological enhanced approaches. Overall, I believe that this study has several strengths. First, the topic is extremely relevant with the rapid development of AI and educational technology. Digital assessment has become one of the fastest growing research trends in ELT. Second, the mixed method design strengthens the study because quantitative findings are supported by qualitative evidence from interviews and classroom observations. And the third, the integrations of constructivism, social cultural theory, formative assessment, and learner autonomy provides a strong conceptual foundation, thus the theoretical framework is well established. And then fourth, the study offers practical recommendations that teachers can immediately apply in the classrooms. However, the study also has important limitations. One limitation is limited originality. Many conclusions simply confirm findings already established in previous literature, such as the importance of immediate feedback, gamifications, and personalized learning. Another limitation is that the study focuses primarily on technology itself. It pays relatively little attention to teacher assessment literacy, institutional readiness, or curriculum alignment. A third limitation concerns generalizability. Because the research was conducted within one educational context, the findings cannot necessarily be generalized to all ESL settings. And next, about the research gap. Although this study contributes useful findings, several important research gaps remain. First, the intervention was relatively short, so future research should investigate whether improvement in language proficiency are sustained over longer periods. So, longitudinal research is needed. Second, future studies should compare learners at different proficiency levels. Beginner, intermediate, advanced learners may respond differently to digital assessment. And then the third, research should examine digital assessment in low-resource educational contexts where internet access and technological infrastructure remain limited. I would also suggest another important research gap. The article briefly mentions about AI ethics, privacy, and algorithm bias, but these issues deserve much deeper investigation. Okay, and then the implications. The article offers at least three practical implications. For teachers, digital assessment should complement, not replace traditional methods. Uh, Teachers still play an essential role in providing meaningful feedback, encouraging critical thinking, and interpreting assessment results. So teachers should still give feedback to students while incorporating the digital assessment. For educational institutions, investment in reliable internet access, digital infrastructure, and teacher professional development is necessary. For researchers, future work should explore AI-assisted assessment, adaptive assessment, and ethical AI. Overall, the article suggests that technology should support sound pedagogy rather than replace it. Okay. So how is this research relevant to my own? Um, I would like to explain how this research is relevant to my own research, which is on mixed ability English language classroom. Although this research focuses on digital language assessment, and my research investigates teaching and learning in mixed ability speaking classrooms, there are several important connections between the two. First, one of the biggest challenges in mixed ability classroom is that students have different proficiency levels, learning speeds, and learning needs. Because of this diversity, teachers often find it difficult to provide assessment and feedback that meet every student's needs. This article shows that digital assessment tools can provide immediate, individualized, and adaptive feedback. Rather than giving the same feedback to every learner, digital tools allow students to receive feedback based on their own performance and progress. I believe this has strong potential for supporting mixed ability classroom because students can learn at their own pace while still working within the same classroom. Second, the article emphasizes personalized learning and differentiated instruction. These concepts are highly relevant to my study because differentiation is considered one of the most effective approaches for teaching with ability learners. Digital assessment can support differentiation by identifying learners' strengths and weaknesses more efficiently and enabling teachers to provide appropriate learning tasks for different proficiency levels. And then next one, I think that this article discusses about learner autonomy. Students who receive immediate digital feedback become more capable of monitoring their own learning, correcting their own mistakes. In mixed ability classroom, learner autonomy is especially important because teachers cannot provide continuous individual support to every student during the class time. Therefore, digital assessment may reduce teachers' workload while encouraging students to become more independent learners. And one more important connection, I think, is student motivations. The article reports that gamification and interactive digital assessment increase learner engagement and motivation. In mixed ability classrooms, lower proficiency students often lose confidence because they compare themselves with higher achieving classmates. Digital assessment may help reduce this problem by allowing students to focus on their own progress instead of constantly comparing themselves with others. Okay, so overall, I think although the focus of this article is digital assessment, its findings provide valuable theoretical and practical insight from my research because both studies share a common goal. I can name about supporting learner diversity through more personalized, inclusive, and effective language teaching. Okay, that is all about my presentations analyzing this article. Thank you very much.